Today is a really exciting day. Is it a boy or is it a girl? We're off to the hospital for our 20-week scan. Find out whether it is a little boy or a little girl, but also more importantly, if everything is all right at the moment. And I'm going to say that thing that probably a lot of parents to be say is, I don't really mind as long as it's okay. And that's a genuine feeling, because obviously the miscarriages and stuff we've had before and the past experiences, genuinely just want to make sure everything is okay. So we're going to jump in the car, go and check, and I'll let you know afterwards. We are back, and I'm pleased to say everything is okay. We do have to go back in a couple of weeks for another scan. There's one measurement or something they couldn't quite get, so we do have to go back for that. But we're having a little girl, another little girl. I'm going to be completely outnumbered, but I don't mind. It's going to be great fun having another little one running around the house. And my daughter is super excited. When she found out it was a girl, she jumped up and down. She was so excited about having a sister. So really positive and good news at the moment. So yeah, but it's Wednesday today. My day off the bike, actually. I'm not riding today. I've done a lot of riding up to this point with Tour de Zwift rides and things, and I feel like I could ride, actually. For the first time in the last few weeks, I feel like I'm getting stronger. I do feel like I could ride if I wanted to, but I am going to take a rest day and then race tomorrow night, and then some more Tour de Zwift rides Friday, Saturday time. So yeah, rest night for me, but I'll see you tomorrow just before the race. It's Thursday, it's time to race. I'm actually ready a little bit earlier than I normally am. I'm going to get about a 15-minute warm-up, I reckon. Got the Zwift loaded up already, going to jump on. I'm feeling a little tired. It's been a busy day, busy few days actually, work-wise, and just still don't think I'm quite used to the low carb again yet. Kind of getting a little bit tired towards the end of the day, but I'm going to give this my best shot, see how I get on. I'm going to do my warm-up, and then I'll see you on the bike for the race. For this race, we're in New York for 6 laps of LaGuardia Loop. Last time we did this course, we did the reverse course last time. I managed to stay in with the group, and the D's got to the end almost first. John Kerr overtook us. I missed him overtaking us. He won the race, and I think I came maybe 4th, maybe even 3rd. I can't really remember. Quite like this lap. I don't like New York, really. There's no flat, it's all up or down, but I do quite like this course for a nice race. It's only 18.2 kilometers in total, a little bit of a lead in, and then 6 laps. The D group today isn't too big, but it's not too small. N Ruddleston, D Appleby, I Ferguson, I Davies, J Gilligan, me, and M Deary. So we're going to be working hard together to try and keep the other groups behind us. The fact that it's flat and relatively short, if we can work together, hopefully we get the chance to keep a gap on the faster groups behind us for as long as we possibly can and give us a chance of a decap win. As I'm trying to regain, sort of get back to the level of fitness I had before, my main aim for this again is just hang on to the D group for as long as possible. In fact, this first lap, I actually found that relatively okay. We stayed together, nobody's fallen off the back or off the front, and there are a couple of opportunities, or I guess opportunities for breakaways. Not that anyone was trying to do that in the Ds, but there are also the points where I have to push a little bit harder because you get to a little bumpy hill. I've got to push as hard as I can to make sure I stay in the back of the group. I have done that so far. I've been in the red zone a little bit, but this is a very short, sharp race, so it's kind of expected. Going up again to 3% here, just having to put out a little bit. And I guess this is just knowledge over time and knowing when to kind of push a little bit more to make sure you keep in that draft. It's still a draft effect at the low level percentages on inclines, and you just want to make sure you stay with them and don't lose the back of the group. This is another one of those areas where it's coming around to the end of the lap, end of the first lap for us, and this is just it's sort of a 4% climb. It goes up to 5% there, where I just have to make sure I drop the gears down and just get out of the saddle and just try and push up to 6%. It's just this little and a 7%, so it does go up higher than I had in my head actually, up to 7%. And you can see a couple of the guys sort of detach from the front a little bit. I don't know whether that's by design or whether it's just what's happened, in the race. As I said, these are opportunities for people to potentially break away. And then you hit straight into a downhill. which is really good because it gives me a bit of a chance to recover slightly. As long as I knew that there were people around me that we'd catch back up together and draft again, then I knew that we'd probably catch up with the guys that have gone off the front here slightly. But I'm feeling quite strong at the moment. I don't feel too bad. Surprising me a little bit. I've got a bit of energy to put out, even though I was feeling a little bit tired. So yeah, feeling quite good. It did ramp up a little bit from this point in terms of difficulty and speed that we were doing. I've almost slightly fallen off the back here a little bit. I can see the guys have come past me. I've got up the power a little bit to make sure I kind of don't lose this group and that we all bunch up together again. We've got the C category still 146 behind. We're 7 minutes in. I don't know how far back the Bs would be at this point, but I think we're doing all right. It takes us a little while, I think, here to come back together as a group, but it does eventually come back together again. We're at that incline again for the end of the second lap, and I saved a feather that I had as I came across the line the last time, knowing that this would be the best point on the loop to use it, giving me a chance to stay in with this group. And Ruddleston going off the front again with the Appleby following. I think that's exactly what happened in the last lap. But I don't think I have to put out quite as much effort this time to stay with the group. So it's a good chance to kind of recover as I did. As halfway around the lap, there's a little bit of a bump and then down. And as a larger rider, I can back off a little bit more and just use my weight on the downhill to try and stay in with the group. But feeling okay at the moment. It is stepping up a little bit. Starting to feel it. My heart rate's up at 182, so it's not an easy race by any means. As we come across the line for lap 2, I can't see where the C's are. I've just noticed I Davies fell off the back of the decal. I didn't notice that in the race. 27 seconds back, unfortunately. But this group sticking together. We've got N Ruddleston out the front again, but I think we come back as a group again and carry on working together for the remaining 4 laps. Here is that little incline on the other side of the course then. Another point where I have to up the power, try and stay in with the group. We're starting to feel this pace a little bit now. Coming up to 14 minutes into the race. We've only done 8.6 kilometres. But as you can see, I'm starting to feel it a little bit. Having to get out of the saddle, keep the power up. But I know, the good thing is I know that is going to end in a minute and I'm going to get a chance to rest, which is kind of what's helping me push a little bit harder. But staying with the group, just about. We did catch N Ruddleston. He did stay away for a little while on his own, but we've got a gap at the moment of 132 ahead of the C's. I nearly lost the back of the group here, trying to come round for the end of the third lap. Just had to kind of go for it because it's one of those things. As I said, if you lose that draft, you're absolutely stuffed. So I just had to put out what I could, try and keep up with those guys in front. Don't stop pedaling. Hopefully, I just managed to coast up behind them here on that last little bit. Heart rate back over 182 or at 182 again. So working hard to stay in this group, definitely. I'm starting to feel it a little bit now on the incline around the back of the loop. I nearly lost the group. You can see where I've put out a big red zone effort to keep up. But again, I know that I can sit in with the group now, use the draft on the flat and back off a little bit. And I think these races suit me because of my power, I guess, profile. Is that the right word? Where I tend to be able to put out some power and then I have to drop off, power and off, as we've seen my power graph all the time in every ride that I do. I'm not particularly good at consistency. So I think this up and down and undulating courses definitely suit me a little bit better. We're coming around to end the 4th lap, 2 left to go, and we've still got a 1 minute 9 second lead over the C's. So I'm kind of thinking at this point, I don't think anyone's going to catch us. This is probably going to be a DCAT win. But also in my head, I know I can't see where the B's are, and if they join the C's and everyone steps it up, that minute could come down pretty quickly. So up out the saddle again, trying to make sure I keep up with these guys. And don't lose them on the downhill after this little incline as we cross the line. Just seeing Craig's message here saying that the B train is inbound with the Bs. Still got a 54-second lead with a lap and a half to go. So I'm thinking, okay, I think the winner's going to come down to this group. But I'm really, really struggling. Those efforts to try and keep up with the guys on these inclines and these hills are starting to get to me a little bit. It's becoming more of a struggle to keep the power down and stay in with the group. And I'm wondering, can I hold on for another lap and a half? I don't know about that. Coming round to start the final lap, a couple of things have happened now. That gap behind us has dropped to 25 seconds, just in the blink of an eye. And then N. Ruddleston's gone off the front here. He's got a 3-second lead. I think he used that hill as an opportunity to kind of try and break away. And also, I'm absolutely gone. I am trying my hardest to keep up with the guys here, but I kind of thinking, I don't know whether I've got another push left in me. We've only got 2.6 kilometers left to go. I'm hoping weirdly that the pace slows down a bit. I'm hoping everyone else is feeling it, but I'm also not wanting it to happen to try and keep that B and C group behind us. We can see Knowles now joined from the Bs in with those Cs and a couple of other riders as well. That gap's down to just 16 seconds. And yeah, you can see I've let that group go. There's no way I'm catching them. I try. You can see my power's going up. I am trying, but I'm pretty much sure that I'm not going to catch the back of the group. And you can see John Karagi is also in with that group behind. And this is what happened last time on this course. He came flying past to take the win. Going into this little final incline, yep, I've got my phone out. I'm pretty much done. But I just really want the D category to hold on to the end here. So I put a message out. Keep pushing, you can do it. N. Ruddleston is off the front here. He's got a 5-second or 3-second lead over Jay Gilligan, with M. Deary and I. Ferguson there as well. And here they come past me, the faster riders. John, Noel Slevin, P. Southworth, John Guthrie's in there, Colin Moore as well. Come absolutely flying past. I'm trying to fiddle around to find my mouse so I can jump forward and watch the race. I've just caught the remaining the D-Cats that have gone out in front of me. N. Ruddleston's still out front by 5 seconds, but unfortunately that gap is going to come down pretty quickly. I'm so gutted for the D group. Absolutely gutted to push so hard in the race and to be caught with less than half a lap to go is such a shame. John saying I'm done, so I don't know whether his aim coming back from, health stuff was just to catch the other riders. I don't know. But he's got P. Southworth, Seymour, N. Ruddleston trying to hang on, as well as John Guthrie and Noel Slevin there as well. G. Moore as well are ahead now of that D group just behind. But we'll jump ahead and watch the final sprint to the line if there is one. Onto the hill for the final time. Who is going to go first? We've got 3 people in the shout for a race win. P. Southworth, Seymour and John as well. Seymour's gone for it. 7.7 watts per kilo into the red numbers. P. Southworth as well, trying to put out power behind. Once you get to the top of the hill, there's a chance on the downhill as well. Who is going to take it at the moment? Colin's got a second lead. Still up at 6 watts per kilo. P. Southworth up there too. When is he going to time his strike? Is it coming? Here comes the sprint. 7.2 watts per kilo. Unfortunately, not enough to catch Colin. Congratulations, Colin. Next over, N. Ruddleston. I'm just watching some people over. It's really, really quick. Jay Simpson will be next over. A couple of people were a little bit before that. G. Moore, C. Waring, N. Ruddleston. Here's a sprint to the line. Then John Guthrie just pipping P. Morris on the line. D. Stark. M. Deary will be over next with A. Pimer just ahead. John Bushell as well coming over the line as well. And then we go back to Jay Gilligan, who will be next ahead, just behind I. Ferguson. And then I lose track of where I am on the course and where other people are at the moment. I think next person over the line will be D. Appleby. I'm not sure whether I clicked. I was a bit all over the place trying to work out where I needed to click. I'm looking at M. Blundell at the moment, but I've got Craig actually is 42 seconds ahead of me, ahead of M. Blundell. And I didn't realise quite how close to the end I was. I didn't think I had that many people behind me. But here comes D. Appleby over the crest of that hill. He'll be the next person over the line. With me 11 seconds behind. As I said, I didn't realise I got quite that far round the course by that point. I kind of assumed that I would have dropped out the back. Here is me. Out of the saddle. Am I trying to stay ahead of M. Blundell? Maybe if I've got a chance, although he's putting out bigger numbers. A 6-second gap behind me. I do kind of up the power slightly a little bit to give myself a little bit of downhill speed to try and fend off any attack from behind. Not that I was really watching much of the race. But that's me over the line next, with M. Blundell just behind. And then, unfortunately, the results screen came up, so I didn't see the other guys. Having a quick look at the results then, Seymour winning it ahead of P. Southworth, J. Simpson in third, G. Moore fourth, C. Waring, N. Slevin, N. Roddleton unfortunately coming in seventh, John Guthrie, P. Morris, N. Corbin, D. Stark, A. Pimer 13th, M. Deary 14th, John Bushell, I. Ferguson 16th, J. Gilligan 17th, Craig coming in 18th, D. Appleby, then myself, M. Blundell in 21st and I. Davies in 22nd. I really enjoyed that one again. I did another 20 minutes in Watopia afterwards, just really slowly, just to get up to an hour today. But I could stayed with that group. It's a shame I couldn't quite stay with them on that last lap. I didn't have anything left. I wish I could have found that extra, but we came over the finish line, they just sort of crept away and a bit further. So I tried to catch and I couldn't. And I was so gutted for the Ds to get caught so close to the line like that. It was less than half a lap left to go. But awesome pushing everyone. Well done to everyone else for catching. That gap seemed quite big when we went into that last lap, and then it just disappeared. But I'm chuffed again. I'm really pleased I'm picking this up again and feeling stronger every week, every ride that I do. So yeah, thumbs up for that one. I'm going to have a shower and have some dinner. I thought I'd show you quickly something that we tried last week. I didn't get the chance to put a video together to show it properly on Wednesday, but we tried a mass start race. Normally we do the chase races where the C's go first and D's go first, and the other guys start with staggered starts in the better categories behind us. But we tried a mass start for the first time, and it was really quick. We had 40 riders in it, shot off from the start, and I was very interested to see where people would find themselves in this, whether they'd try and race up a category and stick with the guys in front, whether the categories would come together and ride in their own right, or whether it'd be a real mix. It was a real mix. Unfortunately, too hard for me. I didn't manage to kind of stay with the group too well. As you can see that they shoot off into the distance, but I did find myself in this little group here with Dave Taylor, I. Davies, I. Ferguson, and then Blundell, who we rode together. I did have to put out a bit of a burst on the small hilly bits that there are in this, just the small climbs, to make sure that I stay with the group. But I did, and the general feedback of the race type was very positive. It's something we're going to add into our race group, into our schedule once a month, just to mix it up a little bit, rather than giving the better categories a chase. More of a chance for others to try and stay and keep up with those categories from the start. But yeah, positive feedback, and I really enjoyed it. I did lose the back of this group on the last little incline out of the underwater tunnels, but I felt really positive afterwards, because it was just another step back into feeling better and being able to push for longer. I've stayed with this group for 22 minutes nearly, and again, didn't quite get to the end with them, as in this week's race as well. But yeah, something that I'm looking forward to doing in future races. I'm really enjoying my cycling at the moment. I'm definitely feeling like I'm getting stronger and stronger day by day. Probably helped with a lot of the Zone 2 riding that I've done. I've not really talked or shown you guys a lot about that, but I have been doing the Tour de Zwift. Every stage I've done so far, and I've done those at a Zone 2 heart rate, which is really slow, about 110 watts on some of them. And it's taken me quite a long time to get used to being in the saddle for over an hour again. That's been an interesting one, just to get my body used to it, and the cumulative effect of days in a row not hurting certain parts of my body. But that's definitely all getting better. I'm feeling stronger on the bike. I'm doing more riding. I'm up to 15 hours in January, and that doesn't even include, I don't know, what, the first week or so. Last year I did 18, and my target for the first 6 months of this year is to beat last year's number of hours in the same month. So I've got to try and fit in another 4 hours. Problem that I've got is it's actually Saturday now. Yesterday I woke up, and I knew when I woke up my head was in an awkward position, and I got up and I had shooting pains all down my neck, and I could hardly move my head all day. And I thought this could take a little while to pass, And it got worse as the day went on because I sit at a desk all day and just stare at screens. It was difficult just to lift my head to keep staring at looking at the screens. I went to bed last night. I put ibuprofen rub and stuff on it, and I've woken up today and it's not too bad. It twinges a little bit, but I've definitely got a lot more movement back and I can move around. I want to say thanks to Craig for running the banded ride this morning, which unfortunately I did miss because I could not look up. I have to look up at the screen on the bike, and there's no way I could hold myself and look up. I walked over to the shop yesterday evening, and I couldn't walk more than a snail's pace because I just got shooting pains down my neck. So maybe it was a trapped nerve rather than the pull muscle. I don't know, but that seems to be settling down a bit. So hopefully tomorrow, being the last Sunday in January, we're doing our end of month banded ride. So I really hope that I'm fit and ready and able to go for that ride, but I'll let you know how I get on with that and how I get on with trying to beat last year's 18 hours in January on the next video. I want to say a huge thank you to all the channel members as usual going up the screen now. As I said, finished strong, feeling good. I kind of, I've gone back to eating well as well. I kind of more focused on, I've got more clarity, if that makes sense. I'm getting more stuff done at work. I'm fitting in the riding. So whilst I didn't put a video out on Wednesday, it hasn't, because I was busy, it hasn't stopped me getting on the bike and getting the riding done. I've got a busy period coming up at work, so it's going to be an interesting balancing act, but I'm going to try my best to keep that ride in there, keep the videos coming out, and keep up with the day-to-day of everyday life as well. But yeah, that is the end of this video. If you do want to watch the full race from Thursday night, you can do that over on the other channel, the other Target 2.5 channel. The link is in the description below, and you can go and see the full race for that as well. But yes, end of this video. If you have enjoyed it, do hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.